Hey guys, welcome to another commentary done by Diggity. Upper right corner we got Bonyth starting as the red Protoss. Bottom left corner we got Dewalt starting as the blue Protoss. This is of course on Fighting Spirit Mania. On Fighting Spirit because it's Fighting Spirit Mania. That's the word I was looking for. Bonyth on the scoreboard now. Dewalt, however, up 3 games, so he can throw a couple games away if he wants some practice, I suppose. He just wants to taunt his opponent and do something along those lines. I don't think that's how he would play though. Set 3 of 7, by the way. I do wonder if he's like, man, I might want to just drop a set so I can get more practice against Bonyth because Bonyth is a phenomenal practice partner. I could see that happening. And also, I'm kind of curious because there's also BSL happening in the space of this. I'm also wondering, because I think these were played as BSL was being played. I also wonder how much they're like, I don't know how much, like, do I want to show my best builds for this or do I want to show my best builds for BSL? That could have been a consideration. Wonder if I could like message them and be like, okay, hey, but anyway, that being said, forward pylon again for Bonyth. I don't know what was going on that last match with, I mean, it worked out for him. He ended up winning the match, but went for just everything on a single Manor pylon. This time putting the gateway to a really odd location. I wonder if this is just full on experimentation or boredom mode now on this edge of it, if he's just trying to hide like display information while still hiding information, or if this is going to be sneaky DT play. This time we are going to see the gateway simulator. I'm going to admit, last map I saw that second pylon drop and I was a little confused. The second pylon before simulator, I was like, is this going to turn into like one gate into expand before gas? Like, what build is this? And then saw the zealots making their way across. Just haven't seen that in quite some time, and I'm as I'm casting this, I had a long day with my daughter today. I'll throw that out there. It was good, it was fun, but a little bit pooped. It looks like it is going to be same build opposite corner, but I have to think that Bonyth is up to something sneaky here, just given the positioning, because this is definitely a let's put this as far out of view as possible while still having it somewhat near that ramp. In the meantime, Dewalt starting, and he sent out a little bit of an earlier scout here than Dewalt. Went bottom right, is now going top left, and unfortunately going to come across Dewalt's base in the final position. Dewalt going to end up with a little bit of an advantage just because he's got that later scout out on the map. Was going to get denied information either way, though. I'm wondering actually if there's a world where someone runs the zealot, realizes that base is not there, runs the zealot across, queues up another zealot, and uses a probe to block. Something along those lines. And then blocks the other ramp or whatever to try to like get an opportunity. Anyway, I doubt it. I don't think that's possible, but if it was, that would be hilarious. I would love to see that sometime. Anyway, probe making its way to top right. Wondering actually if a probe's come across and flipped around and actually befuddled someone that way before. Range queued up. Zealot going to go ahead and blockade the probes on both sides. So not a good day to be a scouting probe. Well, I guess it's a good day because you're not on the, you know, you're not on the mines, you're not, but then you're segregated from your brethren doing what your intended purpose is. I gotta feel like probes and drones in particular, like SCV gotta hate that job, right? It's like you're in this weird mech suit. You barely do well against Zerglings, as though this were like the Aliens universe, pseudo-Aliens universe. Third pylon dropped, by the way, for both players. But you're just there slaving away while things are exploding near you, and occasionally you're asked to still mine while a Reaver's landed. It's like, yep, keep mining, guys. Just don't flinch or run away. It's like, or maybe they just don't see it because it's so far away. And that's what it comes down to. Robotics, kind of the ethics or whatever. So we are seeing robotics with range, however, so no range skip in the space of this. With the probes, I got to feel like they're happy to do it though, right? Because they're AI, as far as I can tell. They're like Wall-E type guys. So I'm sure they're full of life as a result of it. Dewalt checking, finding that Dragoon at the forward position. Looks like he's going to go ahead and sneak out. Bonyth dropping a pylon there at the 3 o'clock location. And then drones, it's got to be in their DNA, right? I bet, like, they talk about how, like, the Zerg arrive at a planet, and then occasionally they come across a species who are like, yeah, this has good DNA for this. It's like they come across a planet that has a bunch of boar. We're like, if we made this a lot larger, this would be good for an Ultralisk, right? Things along those lines. So I'm sure they came across some planet and the drones were just going nuts on the mineral lines. And so they're like, yep, those are going to be our workers. And that's, they're going to be their basis for everything. Very flexible DNA. Poor drones. Anyway. Scouting probe here for Bonyth. He's not going to get anything. The 3 Dragoons and Zealot pushing that up. It looks like it is. So for all, what is this for real though? Is this just to confuse the observer when it makes its way across? Bonyth, like, so the usual mid, you usually see tech around this direction. And instead, it's all shoved to this upper left-hand corner. This is like he's playing against a Terran right now and trying to dodge comsat. But going to go 2-gate obs into expand himself. Looks like it's a 3-gate opposite side from Dewalt. Is going for an, did go for an earlier Nexus. So sorry for giving my rant about the drones. And Bonyth still trying to be persistent with the scout. Probe gonna make its way to the north, is gonna see that probe making its way across. Pylon there. Oh, and these Dragoons out of position. So now it's gonna be a run. Well, okay. Ending around, making its way back across. That poor probe, if he had just continued along that path, wouldn't have gotten caught by surprise. Now that observer is gonna make its way across and discover the bad news. Also with this, neither player, it kind of ends up where a similar situation to the previous match, where Bonyth ends up ahead in tech, is going to end up ahead in the Reaver count, down in the raw unit count. He might have to cancel. Well, the Nexus is going to finish. Should be, well, we'll see how this plays out, actually. I'm not going to make any comments. I've made comments in the past and been wrong. I think he's okay here, but I'm not 100% certain is the aspect of it, just because of variance that's happened recently. So, Dewalt picking away. Yeah, I think he's okay. 3-gate versus 2-gate Robo, I think is okay. That's what I want to say. Like, this is an okay build and he'll get that Reaver out in time and be able to... And you just don't end up with enough Dragoons to apply pressure. That's what my brain says. But I've had like a couple flubs. I had to redo a commentary recently because I wasn't doing it right as far as like remembering my Protoss build order, whatever timing things, which I should have just flat memorized. This is actually a really bad position for Dewalt here, by the way. Having the Dragoons on the low ground with the Reaver and Vision. On Bonyth's side, so things not looking good, although he's still up a good amount of workers and a decent amount of supply and can make up for lost ground here. But this also gives an opportunity for Bonyth, especially with all the eyes he's got. So second gas drop, by the way, from Dewalt to try to clear things up. We're going up to at least 5 gateways here from Bonyth as far as a turnaround. And so we're definitely going to see 2-base aggression. I think this is going to be more Dragoon heavy, and we're not going to see any movements towards any tech, because otherwise we might have some Zealots mixed in, because there's no Vespene Geyser that's being grabbed alongside. I was trying to actually puzzle out, because I hadn't thought about this before, but I kind of thought about it in the middle of a commentary the other night, which was, okay, what are, like, so we got 3 workers that are going to be on gas. We need to deduct that number. And I think it's 21 workers beyond that for like an all-in off a 4-gate, something, or 3-gate, 4-gate, something like that. So then I was thinking like, okay, how many probes? Is it 3 probes? Feels like it's about 3 or 4 probes to sustain continuous Dragoon production. And I feel like that's something I should go back and figure out, because that feels like really helpful information to have, actually. To know that like, okay, this many workers and this many units on gas makes for this minute continuous production out of a gateway of Dragoons. So mental note to eventually figure that sort of thing out. And once I figure it out, I'll publish a paper and hand it out in the StarCraft community, and all the really smart mucky mucks will be like, yeah, we already knew this, dude. What are you talking about? Anyway, 4th gateway, Forge. Up, Citadel of Adun getting dropped to maybe make the way to High Templar. Dewalt setting up in a defensive stance, recognizing he's got the economic lead, and that Bonyth has to come to him. We do have the 2 Reavers out moving up. We got the defensive pylon, but critically this bit is the scouting. There's no observer to take care of this observer, which means the Reavers are going to have a really solid vision to take pot shots across this bridge line. So going to walk a little bit forward. Finally, that observer out on the opposite end, but doesn't have a great look to catch anything. And ooh, are we going to see? I think Bonyth was trying to hit the edge of that pylon to get splash damage on that Reaver. Pylon dead on the front. I'm not sure why I felt like that was the high school thing with the ooh. But full engagement there. Reavers pounding those Dragoons to the south. Bonyth now moving up with the rest of that attack force. Really good damage mitigation there along that Reaver line. So getting some pretty good hits. And now he's got a massive supply lead. But he's still... The problem is despite that supply lead... Try to look at what the supply actually looks like. So that's a full control group of Dragoons versus 10 Dragoons opposite side and 2 Zealots. And he's up a Reaver. The problem, though, is trying to get across this bridge line, even with a single Reaver there, because there's just so much splash damage that happens across that valley. Did that Reaver take... No, Reaver did not take a shot. Observer finally gets picked off. Instead, Bonyth's going to go ahead and take out that pylon to the 9 o'clock. So Bonyth down... So up on army, but down on workers still. Citadel of Adun up. Templar Archives coming online. Could see a slew Templar. We're going up to 8 gateways. Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 8 gateways. And +1 weapons queued up for Dewalt. So I think Dewalt, recognizing that he was in a more advantageous situation. Templar Archives in a +1 weapons just queuing up here for Bonyth. So unfortunately for Bonyth, that last attack, unless he can get something done... Yeah, we already have some Dragoons pinned to this corner. Unless he uses the supply advantage right now, and he's running at a... The window is shortening here. Ooh, took a hit on that Reaver as well. He's not gonna... He's gonna end up in a deficient situation where he's just behind. Deficient situation? That just sounds like a juvenile delinquent in that situation. A bunch of additional shuttles are queued up. So this is gonna be a poor man's recall from Bonyth. He's just gonna dive with these shuttles at the main and try to split Dewalt's attack force before all those gateways come online. We'll see if it's sufficient. We do have a cannon at the main, but this is also going to be a tough SimCity to walk back through. Archons being morphed, by the way. So we got a 3 shuttle drop. I have yet to see this. This is clever. Making its way to the north. Dewalt getting completely caught off guard by it. And a massive drop now at the main, but... And 3 Reavers doing all sorts of damage there. High Templar. Yeah, Psystorm's not there. Fortunately, the Scarab damage upgrade wasn't there, but all sorts of damage. Now, at the main, is he going to be able to snipe that Nexus? Snipes the Nexus on top of everything else. Huge play. And now Dewalt, he went for a counter drop in the space of this, was able to wipe out some workers. But I think his play has to be like, okay, you went that much in shuttle. I just have to counterattack now, right? Dropped off a Zealot in the main to create a little bit of havoc there. I missed... how many Reaver kills. So Dewalt up a bunch of workers, but Bonyth has a full additional Nexus, and now Dewalt walking out. Ooh, lost his shuttle to the Dragoons that were camped there, and the rest of his army getting blockaded by his own Archon. So this looks like it might be another Bonyth win pretty easily as soon as this attack is cleared up. So Bonyth with the Gambit, oof, with the recall Gambit, pays off, gets the victory. That was fun, honestly. What a great build from Bonyth. I have yet to see that. Gonna keep that in the brain. The old brain. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.